our friends.
Welcome all to the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. I'm your humble co-host, Ween.
And I'm Ray.
And we watch and review horror movies so you don't have to. Ray, what are we watching today?
We are watching What did we watch? No, we are watching the 2023. It was a 2023 release in the United Kingdom, but they're releasing it at the end of next month for the United States, and that is Dr. Jekyll.
U.S. baby!
Starring none other than you love her. We all love her. Eddie Izzard.
Incomparable Eddie Izzard.
Yep. Still think about the cantina on the fucking Death Star. I think about that bit all the fucking time. Anywho, what we usually do, and we're gonna do the same thing here, is we're gonna have a little bit of like we're not gonna spoil too much. It's kind of hard to spoil it since you kind of know if you know Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know the story. Again, this modern retelling. And so I think we can just lead up to, there's some big thing that happens, and I think we could probably lead up to that, and then we will stop it. And then we will do our compliment sandwich and give some grated Parmesan.
I love it.
My dear, little garnish. Do you want to do some IMDb stuff? Do you want to give like time and such?
No, there's 1 hour 29 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not rated because I don't know why. Because it's just streaming, I think.
Could be.
I'm not sure. Critic score 38%. Audience score 86%.
And honestly, I can get why. Yeah. One thing, a bit of trivia, which I don't know if you noticed when we started watching it, in November of 21, the UK network distributing, the UK's network distributing sealed a deal with iconic British horror label Hammer Films to form Hammer Studios Ltd. Dr. Jekyll, directed by Joe Stevenson, and currently it will be the first film released under the newly formed studio. So you had the streaming before, and then you had like for the it's set in the firmament of Hammer Films. I mean, the up there with Universal as the start of our horror genre. So this is their kind of streaming arm of it, and this is what we released this.
And I kind of loved that it was like a Hammer film. It was like, they're still going, and their like little trailer intro is awesome because it shows little clips of like the sweet old stuff, Dracula.
Yeah, like the Blumhouse sort of like beginning part, like there. Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. Her full name is Susie Eddie Izzard.
Oh, okay. Got it. So I started taking notes and then I stopped. But it really doesn't matter. At the very beginning. Well, at the very beginning, I had to write it down because I loved at the very beginning the title music that's coming in was awesome. Like it was awesome, and I'm like, this is so cool. We will get to why that crash and burns a little bit. But this for beginning opening music is fucking baller. Might blow my speakers out. That was what I wrote. I'm like, I love this music. It might be blowing my speakers out. And I think that's tough when you. Here's my thought. Well, when we get to meet, I'll give my reasons, I think, as to why it is this way. All right. So we start off with this adorable guy. He's just such a he's a little loser named Rob. Played by Scott Kramer.
Scott
Chambers. That's it. and he is the producer. He's mostly a producer more than an actor. Most recently produced Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Winnie the Pooh 2, something Tigger's Day Out or something. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
I can't believe. I mean, I can believe that that movie was made. What I cannot believe is that we have a sequel.
Well, because because it on
Why?
$100,000 budget, it made $5.8 million. That's why.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's a sequel that no one wants, but that's why. And also because Tigger was just released into the public domain.
Oh,
Yep.
there it is.
Yeah. So from what I heard,
he's the only one.
he's now in the public domain.
Yes.
My one of my well, so I like the podcast God Awful Movies, and for February bonus, it was voted on for them to do Blood and Honey, and from what I gather, it sounded like these guys in the UK like had this idea. They're like, okay, well, it's public domain, so we can use like Winnie the Pooh now. We can make a horror movie, and they're like, yeah, because I'm honestly. In all fairness, if you told me I'm gonna make a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, and I'd be like, it's kind of, you could do it campy, and you can do it kind of like slapstick and like tongue in cheek, totally. But they didn't realize that's not what's in public domain. Is what they're looking at. That bitch is owned by Disney. Like the likeness, any of the language used, like the wonderful thing about Tiggers, you're not gonna be using that. They won't be saying that in the new movie either because they can't.
Right. Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
Not the phrasing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go back and do a little quick of what the fuck's happening in this movie. So we start with Rob, and he is a lovable loser who we don't know much. I love this character. I just thought he did such a good job.
He was very like a little bit dopey, but very sweet. Very very cute. And,
yeah.
He was very quiet. Just a note.
Yeah.
That I noticed from Jump, because you and I are closed caption whores. So
the closed captions were
had the closed
awful.
They were god awful. Like there's a part where Susie as Eddie Izzard turns around and refers to herself as Dr. Jekyll, and it said like Dr. Jenner because it was quiet. I was like, really?
Yes. I know. It was like trying.
But I don't know if that's the movie's fault. I don't know who is responsible.
No,
for that.
they probably did. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately it might be the studio's fault or the streaming service, because I'm sure that they just threw on like the closed captioning that just it was bad.
Yeah,
it was real.
Some of them nowadays are like audio generated.
Oh yeah, they do just
like
AI. It's mostly AI.
That's why the words are all messed up. So plus they have
and it's hard with accents.
Right.
Exactly, it's hard with the accents because what it sounded like. And I think also, again, we're getting back to the sound issue. I think there was a sound issue too, of like how clear things were. So that was the other problem too.
Needs a little mixer, little mixy mix.
Yeah.
Not that we're sound experts, obviously.
Yeah, right. Right. That's for our last episode. Wow. Okay. So his brother. Do you remember what the brother's name was?
No,
I have it open.
I have it up. Ewan, apparently, but I never heard him referred. I thought it was
me either. Actually, she might have referred the ex-girlfriend might have referred to him.
Maybe
in the grocery store when they were talking.
Ewan.
But anyhow, Ewan has gotten Rob this this job interview, and literally we just find out in the job interview this is like his first like day off out of jail. Like it is.
Yeah, he's been released from prison, and we're like, well, and he's got a fucking baby in the hospital with cancer.
Yeah, that's being held with social services. Yeah, like he doesn't have he doesn't have custody. The
Neither
mother
does
doesn't
the
have
mother.
custody.
Right.
No, because she's a drug addict. Come to find out, like what?
Like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure they code her very much looking like she's
and was
drugged
it
out. Like
insinuated? Did I insinuate correctly that they both got busted for like some kind of drug deal
yes,
or something? Okay, okay, okay. And that's what happened.
yeah, but I think he actually went away for it. I think he was the only one of the
Ooh.
group that went away. So you've got this other piece that I'm like, I don't know if we needed this. It's a lot. Um,
It
of
was a
course, my
lot.
notes.
There's a lot crammed, but
Yeah. So he
you
goes and
gained a lot of
he,
sympathy for him. You know,
you
he's
do,
real
and
dope, and
yeah, like he goes to the house and this Sandra,
Sandra.
is like she cares for Nina. It's Nina Jekyll is Eddie Izzard, and Sandra's like her personal assistant. And
Played by the
I
lovely Lindsay Duncan.
I know I was like I remember her from a whole bunch of stuff, and off the top of my head I was like, what is she from? But everyone kind of knows her. So she at one point my note was, why are you so mean to him? Like it was very
You
funny.
gotta squeeze your character in like such a short amount of time. Because again, this is an hour and a half movie. It's really not that long.
No, no. Um,
And you're cramming a
uh,
lot of information into a
y-
small bit of time.
yes,
And like you said, like you had texted me about this, that it does like this movie overall, it does move pretty good.
it
Like
moves. It
the
moves.
pacing was pretty good.
Yeah. So like we find that like Sandra wants to get rid of Rob. She doesn't want him, she doesn't want for one him to be hired, two for him to
Yeah,
stay. And because it's a live-in position. It's the other thing he didn't know is it's a live-in
correct.
position.
And this
And
is like a
he's
billionaire's castle mansion thing. Like it's a
oh,
very, very old house and it's
I
in the
know
middle
they've
of
used
the
that
fine
fucking house
country.
in like I know
Oh
they've used
yeah.
that house in some Austin, like I want to be like
Oh
even
yeah,
like Pride and Prejudice. I have no idea. Something. I've seen this stuff, but that's what they do with
for
these
sure.
houses. I'm like,
Yeah.
who can afford to fucking live in them? Um and so he's and Nina wants to one hire him to keep him like
Yeah.
because at one point he made
She
like he
has a really good feeling about him. She just, is very
mhm,
instinctive and just has a good feeling about him and like keeps asking him questions and Sandra's like,
yeah
oh, she's all up in arms.
yeah I- and we get a little bit from Nina like something's not quite right like something over the time like the first few days that Rob's there like we see a couple different sides of Nina.
Yeah,
Nina used to be a doctor, used to be a neurologist, and she had an accident and she can't walk to the limp and she has a cane.
yeah.
And
Fabulous cane, yes.
right? Even though she says it's gaudy, I'm like, it work it. So it no, it works. Um And I'm trying to think because, well, I mean, we might as well give this away because it's okay. It's not very far into the movie. Is one night Rob is up and he can't sleep because this fucking bird that she has is so goddamn loud, and so he comes down to like try to quiet the
For
bird.
I swear to
And
God, when the first time that happened, when he wakes up in the middle of the night and the bird's going crazy, legitimately at first was like, "Where's the dog? Who got a dog?" I thought it was a dog.
yeah,
I thought it was a
it is
dog, but it's the bird.
loud.
It's
It's
this like
bird.
crow or something. It's not a
It's yeah.
raven
It's
because
like it
ravens
might be a
like.
raven.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you're right. It might be a raven because crows caw and ravens kind of bark, from what I
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
They
yeah. You're
sound
right.
different.
You're right. Yeah. But he's like, "Fucking shut
Oh,
up,
it's
bird." Throws the
fucking
thing over there.
annoying. Well, he was
So
so sweet. He's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" Like being real
yeah,
all cute and
go to
sweet.
sleep
Where I
now.
would have been like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, yeah. So the he goes into okay. So at one point, also he runs into before I should say take. Well, it doesn't matter. No, no, that's fine. We'll keep going because he sees his ex in a grocery store around the corner, which he's like, she knows
Maeve.
everything about his new job.
I
Maeve,
love that
yeah.
name.
Oh,
Maeve.
I do too.
It's not
I
used
don't like
anymore,
this
and I love it.
person. Yeah, I
No,
don't like
she
this
sucks.
character.
She fucking
She
sucks,
sucks.
man.
But she looks like she's jonesing. She looks like she's jonesing for a hit, and she's trying to
Mhm.
get him to, like, join the gang, like, join back up with the team, and all she says is, "All you need to do is let us in the door. That's it." So she knows where he's at, she
Yeah.
knows who he's working for, and he's like,
Yep.
"The fuck?" And this is where we learn that she doesn't have access to the kid either. So,
Oh, that makes total sense now. Why
yeah,
she knows,
she just
but we don't know why she knows right
yeah, yeah,
now. You
yeah, yeah.
do, like,
No, I know. That was a good
so
twist. That
in
was a
the
good twist.
it was good. I was so bummed out though. So in the very, very beginning, when he's first at the house, Sandra, one of the first things before he even meets Nina, Dr. Jekyll, he's made to sign an NDA. He doesn't even know what that means or what it is. P.S.
Right.
It's a non-disclosure
Yeah.
agreement, where he cannot talk about meeting her, being with her, living with her.
Right.
Cannot talk about it. Cannot say to anybody. He did though tell his brother, but I think his brother
He
knew anyway.
his brother got a job interview.
He got him the job interview, but like, did he know that it was her?
I'm pretty sure he knew who it was.
Okay, okay, so maybe that's not such a huge like spoiler thing. But anyway, I was just remembering that he had signed the NDA, and the only person he told was his brother. Keep that in your back pocket.
Yep. Yep. So going back to when he's like putting the thing on top of the cage for the bird, and he's like kind of he hears something in a room off of the main room. Like I would assume going to a laboratory. Um and he hears fighting. We hear Sandra and Nina fighting.
Hmm.
And what happens then?
Then silence, and then Nina dramatically steps out of the room
Yeah.
and
Does
starts
see
walking
him.
up to. Doesn't see him at first, but I think she somehow knows he's there, but doesn't
Yeah.
like call him out. Just starts walking up the steps anyway, as if nothing has
Yeah.
happened.
And then we jump in time because a it seems like it's been a while, been a while,
Been a while.
since we've seen Sandra, because he asks at one point where I haven't seen Sandra in a while, so we assume that it's been a
Yeah,
couple days.
he's harping on that quite a
And
bit.
yeah, and he's like, and also Nina's acting a lot strangely. Like this is like the third or fourth time she's been acting very strange around him, like more
Yeah,
forceful, a different sort of like she's very kind when when she's normal. This is not very kind. Um, calls him names and stuff like that. Um, and I'm trying to think of what else comes next. And there. Oh, she says, "Meet me tonight. I'm going to give you something worth living for." And so that is chess. They play chess. And again, Nina feels off. And they're
yeah.
drinking.
They have this like flirty tete, however
Because
you say
it's when
that.
she's like, when she's with Nina, when she's like, I would say, when she's Nina, she's very, it's motherly towards him. But when she's, what was the other name?
Rachel Hyde.
Ra- Rachel, thank you. When she's Rachel, it is more of a flirty thing, but it's definitely more
Very
motherly
and
when
very
it's.
and very witty and very like sharp and cutting, you know?
You mean Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah, and Nina, yeah, Nina has more of like the cares. Oh, she cares about Rob and of Ari, his baby.
Yeah.
Um, so just keep that in your back pocket too. So then he also goes snooping at some point and finds a file under the name of L. Stevenson. I'm like, come the fuck on, guys, really?
I know. Is this where he
Okay.
finds the phone?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And in a
Yeah.
desk drawer hidden way, way in the back, he finds, because he's been trying to contact Sandra, call her, and he
Yeah.
asked Nina about it when they're playing chess, and is kind of like pressing about it, like, I haven't seen her in a while. I can't get a hold of her. And, and Nina's like, oh, I talked to her, and he's like, uh, have you? And she's like, yeah, yeah, she lost her handset, like lost her phone. So she called me for a
Mm-hmm.
different number. It doesn't matter. Let's play chess. And so he in this desk drawer, he finds Saunders' phone because he sees his missed call. What did she call him? Like prison boy or poor boy or something like that.
Something. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Did you think I thought there might have been something in the whiskey that she gave him?
I
Because he
thought there
was
was too. I
real
thought she
fucking
drugged
loopy.
him. Yeah,
That's
I
what I
thought
thought
she
too, because he
drugged
was
him.
real fucking loopy.
Yeah,
And she gives him money and she tells him to go get like more bottles of whiskey or what drinking. I don't know exactly. I don't know
more
what it was.
libations.
More libations. There you go. Grease them wheels. So he goes to the local bar, like down the street, like the local pub. And I
Yeah.
just laughed because I was like, England, you have big money. Like it's so big. Like pound notes are so big. Um and
What's so big? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
oh, pound notes are so big.
Oh my
They're
gosh,
like
yeah,
half the
yeah,
size. They're like, half the half the size of a purse. Um
yeah.
and
And there's
but
fucking
anyhow,
Maeve.
and Maeve is there. Maeve is there, and pretty much tells him, "You're gonna help us, or I will bury you. You will never see Ari again." But I'm like, "Bitch, you don't see Ari. What the fuck is he
Right.
talking about?" Like,
Exactly.
you
Like, well, I don't know that you can make that threat appropriately. I don't think so.
no, no, because I don't
Anyway,
think you have legal, to stand on. And also,
yeah,
it's 2023, and not necessarily you would just get in custody because you were a lady. It isn't how
yeah,
it is anymore.
yeah.
Um, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we should talk about this next part, and then we'll cut.
Okay, okay. I agree.
So
So,
he's going. Oh, go ahead. You
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, he's on his way home, and there's a really long drive up to the house, like a really long
Hmm.
driveway pathway, and he's like, partway in, and all of a sudden this
A
car
little
comes up
drunk.
behind. A little, yeah, he's kind of stumbling, and all of a sudden this car comes up behind him, stops. Two dudes get out and beat the bejesus out of him, so much
Yeah.
so that his head splits open here, not like his
Yep.
bone or anything like horror movie style, like his skin like he needs stitches, quite obviously, but like he's beat up to shit.
Right.
And they smash the liquor bottle, and then Maeve pops out of the back seat.
Yep.
She,
And
trifling.
he he stumbles back to the house, and I think we're gonna end it there.
Then
All right.
I think this is about an hour into the movie at that point, or not quite an hour
Yeah.
into the movie, like 45 minutes to an hour in the movie. And then it
Yeah.
just kind of expo dumps from there, and you get more
Yeah.
story
And
and you
there's
get
twists
more,
upon twists,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. All right. Let's go to our compliment sandwich. How we
Let's
like to
go.
review things is we like to talk. We start on a high note, so or we start with our top one as a pro, something we liked about the movie, and then we move to our meat. Sometimes our meat might be a little bit thicker than other times. It might be like we might have a few things to talk about. We might have a lot of things to talk about, and then we like to end on a high note with another pro. So, ma'am, would you give me
Man,
your top bun? Mm-hmm, ma'am.
um, my top bun, like I can't not talk about Eddie Izzard. I can't not talk about how wonderful she is. How I love seeing her in movies. I love seeing her act. I love seeing her do stuff and stay active. And like she is just amazing. But this was a very and like she's done all kinds of different roles, but this was a very dramatic role for her, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so it was a good stretch for her. um and I loved her costume. She
Yeah, she has some
basically most
beautiful
of the time
dresses.
had like, right, but she knows how to dress herself well, right? Like
Yeah.
she how to compliment her body. She wears a lot of
Mhm.
wrap dresses that look beautiful, just stunning on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Agreed.
and I like that she kind of played a bad bitch, best of both
Mhm.
worlds.
Yeah.
What is your top bun, Missy?
I will agree with that with yours. Seconded. But I will also say I really liked her counterpoint. I thought it was a very good. What the fuck is the name again?
Rachel Hyde.
Scott. No, 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 no. Scott. Scott.
Oh,
What-
the co-star Scott Chambers, Rob
Chambers. Chambers. That's it. Yes, I
Chambers.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed him. Yeah,
He
I
was
thought he
so
was.
good.
He was, and I thought
I
he
want
was
to
like.
see him in more stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I was looking at his IMDb and there's just not a lot of acting and I'm like I don't know why because he's good in this like he's affable like I think that's a good way to put it he's affable like he comes off with like when he says like he doesn't know what an NDA or he's
Right,
already peed in the jar before he's brought it to the to give for like a summon you already
right.
fucking did it like and he didn't realize that like that's he shouldn't have done it that like he's just kind of dumb like but like in a sweet way and what he's trying to do is very very honorable for his
Mm,
baby and
yeah,
I think how the end of the movie goes you have to really buy into him being so affable and sweet.
yeah. I'm trying to see how old he is, but IMDb does not know. But his birthday is in a few days.
Oh yeah he's all 32 or something like that but he's adorable like he's just yeah, I would like to see him in more things.
Yeah,
Okay, so now we get to
he
the
is
meat.
32. Oh, okay. I was just trying to find his age. Sorry, distracted.
No, it's all right. Would you like to start with the meat, or do you want me to start with the meat?
Would you mind?
Sure,
Appelez-vous?
sure. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be the same one you have, but um, I should have known starting. Sorry,
What?
I'm looking at something just came in my email. Never mind. Um, I should have known my speakers did get blasted out with the sound especially jump scare sounds,
Oh
they're
yeah.
like
It's
they're
like,
over the
"Wah!"
top.
Like,
Yeah, it was like my
oh,
screen
okay.
was shaking. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So,
Like this, the
sound
actual
mixing
sound startled me. The sound level
yes.
startled me more than the actual jump scare. Like,
There were times I
back
could
up.
hear Eddie walking. I could hear Eddie
Right.
walking with the cane. I'm like, "I shouldn't hear this walk sound." Like, so here's what I think happened, and could be conjecture, I don't know, is I think that they recorded sound as if it was going to be in theaters. And
Probably.
it's so different on streaming because it is like if yeah a big movie theater that you need that big fucking sound but like here in my little like cove here I don't need it sounding like he's bashing me in the back of
Yeah.
the head with a fucking book
And
you know like
and
or
I
backing a
don't
car
know,
up.
and I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed particularly at the end when, Rachel Hyde is like out to play and like doing this monologue. There's music going on in the back,
Yeah.
and it just keeps like the sound is like at the same level as her talking. That needs to come way
Yes,
down so you can hear her. I was missing
I was
him.
just gonna say I think they mic'd the
Just need,
floors.
yeah,
They mic the floors and they didn't mic the people because you can't I mean that's and I think that's the problem with the closed captioning too is because it's catching everything for her.
yeah, yeah. So I
So,
think it just needs somebody could really do some magic with some editing and mixing here and just tighten it up. Tighten that shit up.
yeah. 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 I mean cuz that was really my main complaint was just it was because every time I'd be like sitting here just kind of like do it would just it was annoying. Let's just say it was
Yeah, and then it's like,
annoying
fuck me.
and, and unnecessary. I was like
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus
Come
wept. Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Um Uh,
I
I mean,
say that a
I
lot
have
now,
problem.
PS.
What? Jesus
Sorry.
wept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that I'm saying it a lot. Jesus wept.
I know.
The other thing I would have to say is I have issues with the story, but I like what they're trying to do.
Yeah, same. I think my meat will not be meat. It'll be the melty cheese onto the meat. Uh,
I haven't eaten, so I'm
mm,
really hungry.
girl, girl.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
because yes, I had similar complaints about the sound and the plot, I I like where you're headed. I like where you're going with this, but
Mhm.
there were some things I think that needed tightened a bit, or maybe a little more explanation here, a little less there.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, I
it
would have
got
liked
it
to see
got to
more
be
of
pretty it got to be pretty supernatural, and it's that's
yeah,
fine if that's where you want to go with it, but you need a
that's
little
not
bit
how the
more.
original novel was.
No,
Yeah,
you right.
right.
So if a majority of the basis of your subtext of the story, like your basis of the story, is based on something everybody knows, that's common knowledge, and you make it different, you got to explain that pretty good, you know.
Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't a potion. Do you know what it was? I think it's the cigarettes she smokes.
Yeah, yeah, it was the cigarettes. That's why they were
Was
green
it
when
the
they
ci
lit up. Yep.
Oh, see, I didn't get that. I was just like, "Okay, she's fucking
Oh
smoking."
yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay, yeah. But
yeah.
still, it's
Because she
like
offers the cigarette. Because, well, I don't want to spoil that, but like she offers the cigarette to change,
mhm, yeah.
and that because that's how. But I'm like, but hold up, but you like I couldn't figure out because the whole so
It, like, it
I
also
don't know if I
skips a
want to say.
generation, like yeah.
Right, right. Like that was kind of insinuated that like she inherited set. So
Mhm,
not to spoil this too much, but Dr. Jekyll is like a descendant of the Dr. Jekyll. It's kind of what they're posing.
yeah.
Cool, fine. And that she's inherited the same trait. They're inherited the same condition.
But, like,
Okay, fine. I
how
can go with that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
where else they go with it is like, hold on, that doesn't. But whatever.
Especially how it ends.
Right, how it ends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's like,
I don't.
yeah, like, it goes supernatural where I don't think I mean, not to say that the original story didn't have the elements of the fantastique,
Oh
but
no, no,
still,
no.
it,
Of
like
course.
yeah, it's still it was, like, not to this level of supernatural, which is fine, like I said, I liked where it was going. I liked it something
Mhm.
new and fun, and Eddie gets to,
Yeah,
like,
I
spread
saw it going.
her wings and yeah, and do something different. Alright, is that
I
it for you,
also
ma'am?
yes.
Okay. Because then we're gonna move. We're gonna end on a high note. We're gonna give pro our bottom one. Would you want to go?
You after you.
Um, I do. I like the more I sit back from the twist. One twist in particular. One because a couple twists. It's not fucking Argyle, but still, it's like there's one twist, and I the more I sit back, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Like, I like it. It makes me sad, but that's the reason I think it, like, works. So I will
Yeah.
say some of it's work for me. And that's it.
Yeah, I agree. So Koban.
Fine. Co-signed. All right. Let's do our ratings and then our letter grade.
Okay. Um, Blood and Gore. I would say two.
Uh, yeah, I was gonna say yeah,
I would say
one and a
two.
half, maybe two.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. One and a half, maybe two. Because like there's not a lot for most of it, but like by the end, you're like, okay, it's a little bloody.
yeah.
A little messy. Um, spooky, scary.
Um, hmm. It's I mean,
I should
if
also
you know
add
this
creepy, maybe as a qualifier. You know what I mean? I thought it was creepy more than anything.
yeah, yeah, I think, like,
You
especially
know?
with this, we do not get a lot of, like, what is really happening with her until the
Yeah.
very end. I think it's ominous, so I'll give it a 1.5,
Yeah, same.
2. Yeah,
One and a
yeah,
half.
yeah.
Sex and nudity.
0.
I have to I have to play mirror with my camera and I'm like, um, fun and entertainment.
This moves fast.
It
So
was
I'm
really
gonna
good.
say, yeah, I'm gonna say 2.5. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
like I think it was fun. Like it's another one was like it would be kind of fun to watch with you together,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
we could have like laughed at some of the things, and
Yeah, I
gotten
kind of wish
blown
we
out of
had. We should have thought
fights.
about that. Yeah, because I will
Yeah,
say there's something to be said. Like if you're sitting back wanting to be, yeah, there's something to be said about movie. Like the mood of the movie changes, I think, when you watch it with friends and other people as opposed to watching
yeah,
it yourself. It really does change.
hmm
So I think in fairness, if I were watching this with you, it would be a for sure a three.
yeah,
But because I
yeah,
was like by myself, I was like, meh, two. But
yeah,
that, yeah,
yeah.
because
Like I think,
again, we both love Susie Eddie Izzard, so
yeah, agreed. And I think going into it, I think like going into this review, I think we're both saying like, honestly, like stream if you're streaming it, fine. Just make sure you like I don't know how to do an audio balance on it, but maybe
yeah.
cast it to your TV so it's not like I watched on my
I
computer. I don't know how
tried
you watch
doing
it.
that. I did
Yeah.
do that. I did cast it because we got a video link.
hmm
And I did cast it to my TV, but I couldn't pause it. Otherwise, it would like shut it down entirely and start back at the
Oh,
beginning. I couldn't
yeah.
manipulate it and it would start back at the beginning. I
hmm
was like, motherfucker. And I also couldn't get the closed captions to work. So I
Oh
was like,
God.
even though they're shitty, I still kind of want them to at least help,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
So did you end up taking it off of the stream
Yeah,
off
I
of
did. I just
casting?
watched it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I
Because
watched it
I'm
on my
wondering if
phone
it's not as fucking loud when it's not like when it's on
because
television.
I wondered the
When
same
it
thing. I wondered the same
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
I think it is a little better.
And I looked at the reviews from last year from the UK from when they
Hmm.
released it then, and none of them really had the audio problem
Yeah,
that we had. So I
so
think
maybe
it might
that
just
might
be
be
a
fixed
streaming issue.
on. Yeah, I think it's just a strictly
Yeah.
streaming thing, which that's
And,
not their
like if
fault.
it's streaming on a platform, you can get it on your
It would
TV, so
be
you might have yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and that would be fixed if it were on a platform. They would fix that. I think.
Yeah.
I would think, but
Um
I don't know.
oh well, and I think this again, since it's being the first release from Hammer Studios Limited or whatever they're calling it, I think that like yeah, this is I mean, perfect. Like great. I can't wait to see more from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. I love it.
Um all right. Well, we're starting now. We just finished Black celebrating Black Horror Month and we're moving
Yay!
into celebrating ladies.
Hey,
And so
ladies!
and when we get off this call, I have to ask you about how we want to do them.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I have a
Yep.
yeah, yep. Um so catch us outside. No, I'm trying to think if there's anything coming up that we're gonna be
Oh,
watching like on the big
wait,
screen.
we gotta
Oh, where is
really
something we're
quick,
gonna watch on the big yeah.
really quick, we gotta give it a letter grade.
Oh shit, we didn't give it a letter grade, right?
I'm gonna say
Oh, this
C
was a
plus.
tough one. I was gonna say the same thing. There we go. C plus. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
do you want
Yes.
what you go.
Oh,
Are you
I was
gonna
gonna
talk
say
about the
I was gonna
movie
say
we're seeing tomorrow?
yeah, we might throw something up. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. Depending on how we feel, we might throw
I
up what
kind
we're
of want
watching
to.
tomorrow.
I am really interested in this because it's a movie we're going to watch tomorrow at the theater that's being like released, re-released, something I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause it
But
was
it's
out in
like
2010. Yeah.
yeah, but it's based on local folklore, so I'm super stoked. I really, really, really want to watch this movie,
Yeah. I
and I
I
just found
want to
out
know
about it randomly on
really.
Facebook by somebody posting about it, posting a
Oh.
picture of the article in the newspaper about it, and I was like, "What?" So I had to look it up, and I immediately sent it to you. I'm like, "We got to do
We're
this."
going. So I
Go.
don't we think we have tickets. I hope we have tickets for tomorrow. We're
Oh my
still it's
god.
still confusing, but we might have that up soon. So
I
just
hope so.
keep checking here. We keep talking about possibly doing True Detective. Now that Ween is through all of Love on the Spectrum, maybe we can do it. Unless there's some secret Love on the Spectrum, like, you
Let's
know,
be honest, that did not take me long. It, I finished
there's
it in
probably
like
not
a
that
week
many episodes.
because
Yeah.
it's so good,
Um,
and I got my coworker hooked on it. I'm so happy. It was so cute. I loved it. I
But
love
we
love.
talked about possibly doing True Detective. I don't know, depending on like, I'd like it to get another second season. I'd like to get Monarch. I might do Monarch because I like it to get another season because it is good and it's like, I mean, it's fucking monsters and shit. So I don't know, but anyhow, like and subscribe, follow us, follow us on Spotify. It helps with our numbers.
Please.
And please, creative and constructive criticism, please. There's things that we can't fucking help, but if there's something
Like
you
the
want
tone
us
of
to
my voice.
review, yeah,
Or my laugh.
please. Yeah, my laugh. If there's something you want us to review, throw it up. I mean, maybe if it works with something that we got coming up, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys in
How
my
do we end this
forehead
thing?
cannot help
I
that.
I love it. I got my 5 head is covered.
All the way back. It's starting to recede because I pulled it. And it has. I've noticed that like my hairline has gone back a little because I put my hair in a ponytail so fucking often.
Oh,
Anyway,
same. That is exactly
brilliant.
what I have the problem I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the same issue. All right, how do we end this
That's how
thing?
you heard that. Maniacal laugh.
Keep it spooky, bitches.